So I'm back at my other place, and today's video, or should I say tonight's video, is about video games that kind of sucked, but I still played through anyway, and kind of the stories behind why I played through them or whatever, because there's usually a reason, right? Number one is Hydlide. I used to think this was called Hydlide, but I read, that the correct pronunciation for this game is Hydlide. It's by FCI. It was released on the Nintendo 8-bit system. And if you've been watching my video game videos lately, you'll probably see that one of my favorite games is Ys Book 1 and 2. So it has a similar, attack system. You have to run and bump into enemies to attack, which was very strange to me, at the time. Kind of hard to get used to, I would say. This game is no Ys Book 1 and 2 or 4 or anything like that, and there are other games, on the Turbo Graphics or PC Engine, and, that kind of use this run and bump into enemy type, action RPG combat. So, I guess the story is that I rented this game. I don't know if I rented it for one day or if I rented it on a Saturday and the video store was closed on Sunday. I just felt, I had to give it a chance. I had to, make my money worth it, I guess you could say, to give it, a chance. And I've had a few experiences with that, with video game rentals where I'd try to beat the game in one day, I think Golden Axe and King's Bounty and a few others like that. This one, it just sucked. But it is a short game. You can beat it in less than an hour. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes once you get used to it. So, there's not much to say about it. The graphics aren't great. The, so I would barely call this a role-playing game, but there is a password system on it, and you got that kind of the run and bump into mechanics, I guess. 2, the Faery Tale Adventure, and you see how they spell fairy? This game was released, I know, on the Commodore 64, but I played the Genesis version, like this one. Kind of a game that looked like it would be my type of game. The screenshots there. But in reality, it is not a role-playing game at all. It's an adventure. As you can say, it's the Faery Tale Adventure. It's an adventure game by New World Computing, Electronic Arts. And the greatest quest is waged with the sword, but one with wisdom. So I was in school, and there was a guy that wanted to borrow games with me. And by borrow, if he got the best game out of the deal, he would not give it back to you, and you were stuck with it. So I didn't like the game. Tried it, and I eventually, went through the adventure, and I beat it. I think this was a pretty short game. It's been many, many years since I played it. I don't know what the release date is, or if it even says it anywhere here. But yeah, I don't remember. But I played through it, and I tried to get the guy to give me my game back over and over again. He just, I forgot, never brought it back. I don't remember what game it was. So he found out I had a different game that he wanted. All of a sudden, he brought my game back, and he got his crappy Faery Tale Adventures back. Or Faery Tale Adventure back. And, yeah, that's... I don't even know how I got this one. Probably in a lot of something for $1 or 50 cents, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something. Yard sale, something. The game was, well, I don't have a copy of the game. Drakkhen for the Super Nintendo system. And this is an interesting story, I guess, maybe. So I had a Super Nintendo system. Our house burnt down. You know, I had Final Fight and a few other cool games. We lost, you know, the system. So maybe 6 months or so later, we bought another Super Nintendo, and just Drakkhen was the game I bought with it. You know, just luck has it, right? Drakkhen is a role-playing game, kind of very, you know, even outdated, you know, for the time, you know, in my opinion. If I remember, the FPS was very slow, and I didn't have any other games to play. That's what happened. So I played through that game, beat it, and you know there was no point in the game where it redeemed itself, you know, from beginning to end, in my opinion. Now I've read, you know, a few people, or have heard that a few people have liked the game, but for the most part it's considered a stinker. So sometimes when you just don't have anything else to play, you might give a game an extra chance. You know, I would say like Populous. I don't like Populous. I've never beat it, so I can't really tell a story about beating Populous. But, you know, there was a time when that was one of the few games I had. I never beat it, never liked it. Probably should have read some strategy guides about how to, you know, do it better. Like a shelf of some of my box consoles and stuff here. Let's go to the other side. Dark in here. You know, Commodore 64C right there. Super Scope, Super Nintendo, various PS2s, PS3s, Xboxes, Xbox 360, Xbox One, GameCube, PS4, different versions of the Xboxes, including like, what was it, the Samsung or whatever box, and Xbox carrying case. Yes, I definitely need some more lighting in here. Derby Stallion, Japanese Sega Saturn. Yeah, Sega Mega CD2, Japanese version. Yeah. We've got a few other box systems and a bunch of unboxed consoles. This is the Sega CD Model 1. You know, these guys are awesome, and there was a rumor that, you know, there was these laser issues with the Model 1, but that could have been started from Sega because they wanted to introduce the Model 2. I love the disc tray, and, you know, I just, you know, several years back, 2015-ish, put a new drive belt in the disc tray drive, and it works fine. It still works, you know. These are pretty old systems. There is my ceramic gizmo. Who knows how old that is. Back in the old home theater, abandoned home theater room, and 16 by 24. What are we gonna do with it? Are we gonna put a home theater back up here one day? Maybe. Maybe make a recording studio, jamming studio. Highly considering that, you know. I've got electric drum sets, and these guys are probably collecting some dust, but it needs to be rebuilt. And, you know, we got instruments and all kinds of stuff that just takes up a lot of space. You know, we got the congas, and this has just been a storage area for a little bit of everything for a while. So we need to rip out a lot of the stuff, box some of the stuff to the ceiling, you know, get it out of the way. But this would be a really good area for recording or playing music, a jamming studio, as I said. Make it a retro classic gaming center, or just a gaming thing with CRT monitors and, you know, screens everywhere, and maybe a couple PCs for LAN, you know, party type gaming. And, you know, I even considered, you know, doing, you know, a reptile room or anything, but I think it makes more sense to kind of forego anything you have to feed. You know, if you keep adding things in your collection, whether you're trying to make money or just for pets, and they eat food, they cost money all the time. So I'm thinking something that doesn't eat. Recording studio. The gaming studio thing, yeah, you know, unless we just expand like the media closet and just put, you know, shelves and things so we can display everything. But then again, what's the usefulness of just like being like a museum that nobody goes to? You know, it might look good on a YouTube channel or something if it's made up right. But I guess the functionality of a theater and possibly music studio are the two most productive things we could probably do here. And what is this Atari 2600 game? I think I found this out in the shed, kind of buried, so the label is not there anymore. There's some kind of possible hint of some writing. It is dirty. Media shelf again. I really want to redo the media shelf, you know, if we have to take a lot of stuff out and then just focus on things that we really enjoy, like the 3D Blu-ray movies and stuff like that. I just, you know, I got, close to 500 now. It would be nice to have all of them here, or at least ones that I'm not, you know, ready to watch at home. And I do have the, obviously the DLP 3D TV still, so I could play 3D movies here until I got another projector or something. So it's not that hard probably to make it a theater and a, you know, music studio. We just have to find a place and a way to organize everything so that it's functional.